this is the project. I'm not showing you her face because, okay, I'll show you her face because I don't know what I did with that eyebrow there, but yikes. So anyway, this is the jacket that I want to make. Mostly I just want the woven in the sleeves, the woven sleeves. So I'm gonna figure that out, and then just some top stitching along the seams in the front. I am going to start by checking to see if any of the patterns that I've previously made will kind of fit these style lines. So if I don't have to make a whole new pattern, I'm not going to, but I'm gonna go through my patterns. So this is the pattern for the, no it's not. It's not a pattern. This is the mock-up for the jean jacket pattern that I made. And most of all of the design lines are where I want them to be for this design. So I pulled the mock-up out and to see if it fits. If it fits, then we're just going to use the same pattern instead of making a new one. And oh, it totally fits the way I want it to. So the only downside using this pattern is that I drafted it for flat bell seams, and since this jacket's totally lined, I don't need flat bell seams, so I can just cut it slightly smaller, but I'll probably just put a piece of painter's tape on my sewing machine to remember to use larger seam allowance, because cutting it smaller seems like it could go wrong. But it is going to be fully lined. I've got the red fabric for the lining. Oh, just sent my patterns flying. Red fabric for the lining, and then black denim for the outside. And then I got the satin for the sleeves, shiny on one side and a little dull on the other, so that I can kind of do an alternating thing with the woven thingy with the sleeve with the thing. I'm not entirely sure how I'm going to do the sleeve yet, because if I want to do a two-part sleeve so that I can have the you know, words. I don't know how I'm doing a sleeve yet. I figure I'll just make the little strips and do a little woven thing and kind of put it on a pattern and see which kind of do a little bit of a drapey pattern making combo thingy. Figure out what works. But since this totally fits, I don't have to change anything. I can use that pattern. I'm going to go ahead and just get this cut and this cut, and then cut this and sew it into the strips that I need to do the sleeve. So let's cut some fabric. So the sleeves are going to take way longer and be a little bit more complicated than the rest of the jacket, because I'm not entirely sure how I'm putting together. But since I do it woven, I'm going to start with just cutting all of these strips of fabric, and then go ahead and sew two together at a time, and then turn it right side out. I'm going to alternate between the shiny side and the matte side out, so that when I weave it together, hopefully I'll be able to notice a little bit of a difference there. But this is going to take forever. Hopefully it looks amazing and it is worth it when it's done. Game changer tool.
All right, I did this one and this one and this one and this one and this one, and I got this one done and this one done and this one done. Okay, I got them all done. All of the ones that I got cut out, they're sewn, they're ironed. But now, oh my gosh, so much work. I am not in the mood to work on the sleeves, so I think I'm just gonna set these aside and then go work on the body of the jacket, and then I'll loop back around and finish the sleeves afterwards. So yeah, jacket first. Well, body of the jacket first. This is the front. Let's work our way to the back. Lining is done. So now I'm gonna do the same thing. We're gonna set that aside. I'm gonna do the same thing with the bodice. I think though, because I'm gonna go ahead and mark the extra, because this has the main part, words, has gonna have top stitching on each side of the seam, and then just also other places. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna mark where those go first. Perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew it. I'm gonna sew this. Then I'm gonna do all the top stitching for this, and then I'm gonna sew it back, put the black thread back in and sew that on, because I really want that pressed. I don't want the top stitching to go all the way up, so. All right. Got this in. I'm gonna go ahead and press all these seams open and then do the top stitching, one on each side of the seam and then one line down here. So if I flip over to white thread. Maybe red.
Pretty. So I got all the top stitching in and all the seams done, and then I put it on the table. There's a video of that part. I realized I forgot the pockets.
So I'm just going to take a brief moment to question all my life decisions, maybe have a little bit of a mental breakdown, and then put on my big girl panties and deal with it, and just cut it open between the spot here and this spot here. Then we're gonna put the pockets in and then get back to where I was at.
I'm gonna do one, see if I can figure out how to do it without undoing the top stitching. If I can, I'm not going to. But if I can't, then I'm gonna undo the other one too. But I'm gonna do this one first. One minor mental breakdown. It was minor because there were like totally no tears involved, so minor breakdown. my reminder that I do love pockets. Oh my gosh, I also had to take a nap. Oh, my hair is all weird. Whatever. I have pockets now. So the pockets are in. I kind of sewed them. I did sew them in just the little part that's left over after the top stitching. And then I did have to hand stitch because there was no back stitching before and after where I had to rip out for the pockets. But the pockets are in. I have 2 pockets now. So now I'm just going to, what am I going to do? All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew the shoulder seams together. It's not gonna get red top stitching up there, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew those together and then just press the seams open. And I'll put the lining in and put the collar on. Sew the collar. Why are you being weird? There we go. There we go.
The bodice and the collar is done. It is perfect enough. So now I'm going to go back to working on the sleeves. And I decided that I'm going to go ahead and kind of put a backing underneath the woven part of the sleeves. So I'm going to get that cut out and then start with the weaving the strips together. Fun fact, it is at this point that I realized I only made enough of these strips to make 1 sleeve. When I was doing the math, I didn't take into account that I was sewing 2 pieces together and turning it right side out to make them. So now I have to go back and make so many more. It's gonna take forever. This better look really good when it's done.
All right, we're gonna make some possibly bad decisions. So I've got the middle part all riveted of the sleeves, and then the under part just tacked, because I'm worried that like the rivets will get caught on stuff because it's the under part of your arm, and you know you move your arm around. So, but now those weren't words. So I mean technically so, but are words, whatever. Okay. So now I'm going to did not tack these. I'm going to fold this over and I'm going to sew the sleeve together. And then put one of them in. Oh, you can't even see that. Haha. Sew it together. I'm gonna sew this together. Don't usually pin a bunch, but we're gonna pin every single one of these because I did not tack them. Oh, things look good. Haha, it does. Yay. Okay. Let's turn it back over so I can press the seam and do the other sleeve.
All right, so it's ironed and perfect enough. So now I'm just going to pin all of the strips of fabric that are coming out into the arm's eye and get that sewn onto the bodice of the jacket and see what it looks like.
Okay, I love it. Yay! Awesome. Let's do a second one. Yeah, looks so good. Alright, got the sleeves on and in, and I just realized I forgot to trim all this extra stuff off when I sewed the sleeve on. So we gotta do that. Alright, sleeves are done. Just gonna iron this and sew it so it looks like piping. So now I'm gonna do the front. Attach that on. And then the bottom. Alright. And here's the front of the jacket. We've got the front to put on. But I'm going to put the stamps on because then I want to be able to have the rough part of the stamps inside that. So I'm going to go ahead and put the snaps on. Inside done, outside done. Yay. This one has to go through both layers, so I'm gonna. Ah. Alright, waistband needs to get added, and then I need to still iron and top stitch the sleeve. Very cute. I'll keep it. So gross. See if I'm gonna go iron it to that length there. Ooh, that's not sheer at all. Yeah, I'm gonna go iron that right there because I think that'll be a good width for this style.
All right, it's all ironed and sewn. It looks good. Totally better than perfect enough. Let's try it on. Button it up. Or snaps it. They're not buttons. All right, it's cute. I love it. I love the sleeves. It has pockets. Oh, my pants pockets are sticking out. I'm glad I decided to undo the pocket. My mistake, because I would be sad if I didn't have pockets I could use. But it's all done. I'm glad I went with the red top stitching instead of the white so that it matches the lining. Yeah. All done.